Hi, it's Rob from the Gym Team. Hope you're well. Welcome to this mobility exercise training session. Today we are looking at hips and pelvis. Grab yourself a drink of water. Cheers. Take a sip, leave around your lips, and hydrate. Okay, from there, put your water safely to the side. As always, let people know you take part in a training session, and as always, find yourself a space and check around one way, check around the other, make sure you've got plenty of room. And as you'll see, we're doing this in barefoot, so I'd like to try and do the same. From here, we're just going to march on the spot. A way to make a fist, place it between your feet, and just check your position. From here, hands on top of your hips, drive your hips forward, lift your chest. Nice. From here, raise up if you can into calf raises. And feeling that your big toe to your little toe are flat to the floor. Now, if you're struggling with this, take one hand to the wall and feel yourself lifting and dropping nice and square and straight. Feel your glutes are engaged nice and tight. Feel your shoulders are back into position. And feel that your feet are evenly distributing the weight of your body. From here, we're going to stretch and lift. Your shoulder blades back, thumbs behind us. Chest lifted up nice and high. Now, from here, we're going to work on our proprioception and balance. So we're going to drop our arms down. We're going to do a calf raise here. We're going to step forward, calf raise here. Step back, calf raise here. Now, if you're on a laminate floor, then you've got two lines that you can follow. I want you to stick your second toes on there and step forward and calf raise. Now take note as to what happens. Do your second toes stay on the planks of wood? Which foot goes in, what foot goes out? Just check each time. And when you're feeling confident with it, see if you can do it forwards and back with your eyes closed. Once you've done one, just check, my left foot's gone out. So we're going to check that again. Close my eyes and see if I can keep myself in play. Left foot again just went out. So we're going to check again. Step forward, calf raise. If you go off tilt because your eyes are closed, that's good. You're challenging your proprioception, making yourself stronger. Almost perfect that time. So we're just checking that we are working linear direction, nice and square and straight. Got our hands on our hips drive forward, step forward and back into position. Feel the big toe to little toe, square down to the floor. Your second toe is perfectly on that line as much as possible. Two more here. Try and really peacock up the chest and see if you can keep this nice straight line position through your body. Good work. So now we've got our feet and our toes and our ankles all working together. Let's push up into balance and then we're going to take our feet flat to the floor and kick out wide. Now as we do it, this isn't just a lateral hinge. What we're doing here is we're stepping. We're going to place. I'm going to drive off this standing leg and come back up again. Slow and controlled. Now, this isn't a strength conditioning class. This is mobilization, getting the hip to move and the pelvis to tilt and to rock. So you're just taking it slow and controlled. This isn't about how many reps you can do. This is, can you step in plane? Can this leg load? Can you keep the strength on? Step, drop, lift, press. And again, if you can now, this foot is going to balance. So we're going to step, balance. This foot comes in. This foot's not touching the floor. It steps back again. We take it controlled. We press. We step. And the right thigh is doing all of our work. every time. Our hips are coming up into full extension. Our pelvis comes driving forward, our chest lifts up high. So side step into squat, hitching the pelvis each time. So you're really using the core muscles stabilizing around the hip to lift. Now again, this is feeling easy. Challenge here is to step wider. And then to load off the leg, but slow back into balance. So step wider and hinge. Feel the big toe to little toe engaged. You should be able to balance. We're going to work one more here. Shaking it out, roll your hips. So if you struggle with sciatic pain or tight hamstrings, tight adductors, glutes, this is a brilliant way of developing functionality. Now you might find as well, as you're stepping wide and hinging into that squat, you can really feel your glutes perhaps more predominantly on one side than the other. The feet stay parallel and the quads are engaged, and we step back into position. Strong step, low squat, strength and extension, come back in. Push, drive, and step and seat. Fire the glutes, step and lift. Keep this foot off the floor. Keep the balance. Step wide, drop squat, stand through, glutes fire, step in. And at any point you're starting to think it's easy, step wider. Step, sit lower, stick your bum back through it, lift your chest. Drive, balance, and it's slow pull back in. It's easy to let gravity get involved. And you might find you tilting off it now as you fatigue. We're going to work 2 more here. Come on, strong. And take note of the areas in your body that are struggling on this exercise. So it's your adductors that are feeling short there, something for you to stretch in your own time. Butterfly stretches would be great. Okay, so from here, we're going to stand with our feet fist gap apart. We're going to lunge forward with our left leg, and we're going to hinge at the knee. And we're going to just pulse through here. Now, hands on your hips and drive your tummy forward. Lift your shoulders back and high. Now, if you can, feel the bony prominences of your pelvis bowl here, with your fingers and thumbs like in a U position, or a couple of C's. From here, we're going to tilt and come back. So you're holding this lunge, this leg is working hard, I know. And you're going to tilt, forward, back, forward, back. Now try the same exercise, but tighten your glutes so they're on fire. Now, if you're leaning forward, this is easy. But can you lean back? Get your chest up nice and high, and get your hips driving forward. Tilt, back. 2 more. 1 more. And release. Shake it out. Good work. Right leg's going to go forward this time. We're going to flex the left knee. And again, into that hold position here. Straighten the back leg. Shunt your pelvis forward. Let it come back. Again, feel that big toe, little toe, square down to the floor. Feel the glutes are nice and strong and engaged. Really peacock this chest. Stay up nice and high. Lift up and be strong. Feel what's going on through the front of that thigh. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And slowly releasing, coming out of that. Grabbing yourself a mat. What I prepared here. Okay. Dropping yourself down onto the floor. Okay, so from here, we're going to work on laying on our left side. We need a nice straight line from our nose, through our belly button, through to our toes. We're going to kick back as long as we can. Should feel a lengthening through this hip flexor. So the top of the front of the thigh, stretching hard. We're going to lift and tuck forward in front of the chest. Now, as you're reaching that leg behind you, you can definitely feel a lengthening here through the front of the tummy muscles. And this is the site of all of our hip flexors. So we're feeling what's happening in that iliacus, that psoas, that rectum, everything working hard here. We're trying to stride that leg as far back behind us. Then we're trying to knee lift as high as we can, tucking forward. High lift through. Kick back, strong length. You can feel the hip flexor extend. Perfectly safe exercise. It's a great way of conditioning your body. Now, as you're working through this, the back knee is flexed down to the floor. As the knee comes up, we're trying to get it as high as we can up into the chest before kicking back and elongating back behind us. The longer the stride you can generate, the better. Can you get that leg to come behind you so the inside step of the foot tilts and it comes flat to the floor? So it comes behind strong. This is developing your stride pattern. And we're coming through with knee lifting high, strong through. Feel what's happening in our glutes. As we come behind, now try and allow, as it's come down, this knee to tuck down towards the floor, allowing a bit of internal external rotation in either of the hips. So as we come back in, we come through, and we're working again. Rotating, dropping the knee in, then lifting and high flexing up and through. Let's roll over, let's check out the other side. See what's going on here. So again, we're going to roll onto the right side. We're going to let that right knee flex up. We're going to allow the pelvis to come forward just slightly. From here, we're going to leg back behind us. We're going to find as much extension as we can through that hip flexor. Our head's all the way down to the floor. We're going to tuck up the knee. We're going to stride and lift. Circle the leg back slightly if you can and tucking the knee in behind the other leg. As far behind you as you can reach with that leg. So lift, tuck through, get that knee all the way now across the body. So we're allowing that circumduction of the hip in the pelvis. We're then tucking up back through, tilting, rotating. And as that leg comes behind, I want you to try and get the left knee down to the ground. You should feel a wonderful stretch going through the lateral side of your body as you're doing it. You might find a bit of a strain on perhaps the medial aspects of the knee. Now, that's not going to be, or it's unlikely to be, anything of the cruciate ligament as you're working through. It's probably likely to be the vastus medialis oblique, so the inside muscle group of the quadriceps. And you might be able to feel that kind of going up the belly. So a lot of people who do this exercise is really, really good for them, but they get worried about knee pain, maybe medial collateral ligaments of the knee, etc., stretching. Right? For me, yes, there will be a bit of tension on them, but it's actually muscularity changing, which is really good. Again, trying to tuck that knee in behind the other knee, down to the floor, getting that rotation, and get that knee down at the front again. And release. From here, we're going to take that same leg, because we're on that side, so we may as well. We're going to flex the bent knee at the bottom. Okay, and we're going to lift that leg up into side abductions. We're going to let the leg come down, The inside arch of the foot touches the floor. The strength of the glutes fires. We tighten up the glutes and the backside. Strength all the way through the hip and pelvis. We slowly drop that down again. We're looking at the height of the lift of the leg and trying to mobilize. Slowly drop that down. Now this time, as we lift, we're going to take it up and we're going to circumvent. We're going to allow that rotation forwards, trying to keep as straight a line through our body, from our head through our shoulder, through the pelvis, almost through to the line of where that leg is circumventing and rolling. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. And release. Shake it out. Roll it out. Good, good, good. Change sides. Again, let's work on that hip movement. Again, laying on the left side this time. Left knee is flexed and forwards. Stabilized here. Work on your abduction out to the side. Foot touching. Big, strong, high lift up in that abduction. Really using all of the muscles supporting around the side of the hip and all the way of those muscles supporting the pelvis into this position. Try and keep the top element of the pelvis pointing up to the ceiling here. So that side point, that top hip point, you might be able to find the bony premise there of the greater trochanter of your hip. You might be able to find that point. And if you stick your finger just on top of it, you can feel it rolling around. If you can't feel it on yours, don't worry. It might be yours is less protruding than mine, perhaps. Just keep working this move. Now, as we lift, we take that leg out wide and hold. We're going to rotate. We're going to circumvent. And then keeping the glutes in nice and tight. Slow, controlled movements. Forward, slowly back through the range. Again, using all the muscles around that hip to stabilize and keep the leg up in the air. 4, 3, try and push the foot away from the body. Keep your lever as long as you can. 2, and 1, and rest. Oh, definitely feeling that. Rolling onto the back. Placing your feet flat to the floor, then extending both legs. Stretching your arms up overhead. Letting the shoulder blades come down to the floor. Walk back in. Place the feet, lift the pelvis. Curl through the spine. Lowering the coccyx down to the floor last. Rotate laterally so your knees over to the right side. Bring your knees back up to midpoint. Rotate lateral left. Use the strength through abdominals to pull back up into play. And again, drive up strong into pelvis bridge. Control the lower. And release. From there, we're going to place our feet together and let our knees go out to the side. Now, laying on the floor here, and we're just trying to let gravity do its job of letting the knees come out wide to the side. So we're going to take your hands, one on top of the other, place them on your belly. And just feel your lower back down to the floor. Feet together, knees together. Sorry, soles of your feet together, knees out wide, knees to stop the floor. Now, if you can get your knees all the way down to the ground, you have great mobility in your pelvis. in your hips. You've probably got, likely you've got shallow hip sockets, so it allows that greater movement. And you've probably got greater flexibility in your ligaments and muscles. If, like me, you don't, it's likely that you have deeper sockets for the neck of your femur and how that's working, connecting into your pelvis, which will prevent as much movement out wide. It can also be an indication that you need to work greater flexibility here, and also trying to keep that lower back down into the ground. From there, taking a slow deep breath in for 4, holding on to that deep breath, and slowly breathe out for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And slowly release. Bring your hands either side of the outside of your thighs, slowly putting your knees in before taking yourself through into standing. And from there, taking your feet a fist gap apart, having shaken your legs out and hinge, lengthen out the back of your legs before slowly taking yourself through into standing. Stretch, elongate, tilt one to the left, one to the right, and relax. Really, really well trained. Hope you enjoyed that training session. As always, if you did live, hashtag live. If you did replay, hashtag the replay. And as always, if I can help you, please do get in contact. Let's get the training. Okay, as always, grab your water. Cheers. Well trained. I'll see you next time for the next one. Well done, guys. Really well trained. Nice.